99 or 98% of Americans have this in their blood from day-to-day exposures. Military members and veterans are exposed to a lot of PFAS through AFFF use on the bases. The AFFF, aqueous firefighting foams, are used to put out fires. They're really effective in doing that. And so these service members use this in training to get practice putting out fires, and it sinks into the groundwater on the base and surrounds the base, and whatever groundwater plume could be associated with that. And they're unduly subjected, both occupationally, but then when they go home, they're likely living close to the base and drinking water that's impacted by these AFFF sources. Again, I think that is a betrayal of a demographic that we owe a lot to, and I think that shouldn't be swept under the rug. And I hope as we move forward, I know the Department of Defense is looking to figure out how to address this pervasive problem at all these bases around the country. I hope that we don't forget that there's people already affected, that cleaning up now, there's been decades and decades of veterans and service members affected who have taken this stuff into their bodies at high levels, in addition to sacrificing so much for the country. It just makes it a unifying problem in that we all have it, we're all subject to this, and environmentally relevant concentrations, day-to-day concentrations of this are associated with health effects we don't really want to tangle with. PFAS are extremely tough to screen for, they're expensive to screen for, they require a lot of expertise that is not necessarily at the discretion of low-income communities or communities that are subject to some of these direct exposures, and that a lot of these plants are in poorer working-class communities where they don't have the resources to take a grab sample of water and do this crazy analysis using an instrument that costs a couple $1 million to figure out what PFAS are in their water. So I would hope that makes it a more unifying problem rather than kind of just a low-income or working-class community problem. I think bringing those two worlds together and communicating that is a really important priority as we move forward with PFAS research and engagement. I think it's entirely unacceptable and unethical that low-income and working-class communities are being forced to fight for these answers or hope for a legal champion to come in and help them out for this, when the companies that are producing some of this are making millions upon billions of dollars while knowing what's being produced and put into the environment. Poor communities are bearing these costs. Poor communities are the ones who are being forced to wonder if their thyroid issue or this specific cancer or X, Y, and Z is related to living downstream from a chemical plant their whole life. Often they're also tied to these plants for jobs that, in the communities. I'm thinking of the Wilmington, North Carolina plant. The Fayetteville community relies on that plant for a lot of jobs. And so it's that they're being fed by this plant in one sense while being kind of beat over the head by the other hand. It's confusing and disheartening.